I'm just a guy who loves Disney that has way too much time on his hands. If anybody from Disney is watching, please don't sue me. I'm here to rate, review, and describe all of your favorite things from the magical world of Disney. I'm File91e and welcome to my Disney News and Reviews. Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Disney News and Reviews. I'm File91e. Before I get started with this week's show, I just want to remind you guys that I won't be doing a show next week. It's my birthday weekend and I'm taking off, so I don't have any show planned for that weekend. If I get anything, I might do a bonus video if I'm bored, but I doubt it's because I like to rest and recoup and things like that. So just reminder, no show next week. Yeah. The Where in the World answer for last week was Ellen's Energy Adventure. I do believe I fooled some of you with that. Maybe just a few of you. I think the majority of you got it. But I did fool some of you. Yes, it is Ellen's Energy Adventure. It's the scene where she is trying to shoo away the dinosaur with a stick. Because that's what happens. One other piece of news. I did actually kind of buy my first thing for Disneyland. I already have the tickets and everything, obviously. But my first item for recording at Disneyland is a wide-angle lens for my smaller video camera that I take, my travel video camera. That's going to be the majority of the stuff that I shoot on. And when I went to Disney World last time, it was tough because the angle is so narrow on the camera that even though I'm really up close to something, I'm not, or if I might be far away from something, but it's still zoomed in pretty close, and I would like to get a bigger area, for fireworks shots and things like that. So hopefully with this new lens, it'll make the angle a little bit wider, and hopefully get me some some better shots. I also got another extended battery and a battery charger. That's my birthday gift to myself, so that I can get some good shots for you guys when I go tour. I might go to either Six Flags America right by me or back to Hershey Park this summer just to test them out, along with the GoPro and everything. Kind of a dry run before I go to Disneyland to test out how I do. I can't fit on many of the rides at Hershey Park or Six Flags, but who knows? Maybe I can film some other things. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me this week, guys. Let's get right to the news. Earlier this year, Disney announced that a new nighttime spectacular, Rivers of Light, will be coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom, but did not give any details about when the show will debut. It is now speculated that the show is currently being planned to open in March of 2016. This gives designers and construction crews just under 2 years to produce the show and build the necessary infrastructure around the water in front of Expedition Everest. The show viewing areas in particular are thought to require a lot of work, as the walkways currently surrounding the water are not sufficient enough to support the expected crowds. An opening in March of 2016 will put the show opening just under a year ahead of the new Avatar Land currently under construction. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. A lot of Animal Kingdom news this week. They're really renovating the Animal Kingdom, and it's for the better, I think. The Festival of the Lion King at Disney's Animal Kingdom will reopen tomorrow, June 1st, or today, depending on when you're watching it. It should be open now. In its new home in Africa, located in the new Harambe Theater, the show will be the same as the original that was shown in Camp Mini Mickey, and will offer FastPass Plus, so that's pretty cool. Also, part of the new Harambe Theater area will be a new merchandise kiosk called Maria's, offering Lion King merchandise, which is awesome. It's a very popular thing. Show times are on the hour, with the first beginning at 10 a.m. 3 Grevy's zebra can now be seen at the Pangani Forest Exploration Trail at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Grevy's, G-R-E-V-Y'-S, Grevy's are the largest of all zebra and are currently on the endangered list, with only 2,000 remaining in the wild. The group at the Pangani includes 2 females and 1 male, and you can find them on the savannah behind the meerkats area. The Character Musical Chairs continues at Disney's Animal Kingdom this weekend, with Donald Duck on the move again. Starting tomorrow, June 1st, Donald will be leaving Daisy at the Character Landing on Discovery Island and will be heading back to the Cretaceous Trail in Dinoland, USA. Just heads up there. The hugely popular Magic Kingdom Frozen meet and greet with Anna and Elsa is set to operate for extended hours. Starting tomorrow, June 1st, the Frozen meet and greet at Princess Fairy Tale Hall will operate from park opening to park close. FastPass availability will also be expanded with the new operating hours. Originally, they ended this early, but now it's extending all the way through. It's so popular with wait times out, all the way up to 300 hours. I mean, do you understand? It's like 5-6 hours right there. So, crazy that people will wait that long just to meet two people. But I guess if that's why you're there at Disney, more power to you. And finally, the downtown Disney Pleasure Island bus stop will soon be closing to make way for an all-new bus transportation construction as part of the Disney Springs expansion. Starting around June 11th, only the Marketplace bus stop will be available, and there will be revised traffic patterns for the Walt Disney World buses around that area. When Disney Springs is completed in 2016, there will be a brand new single location for bus transportation service. That's pretty cool. Awesome stuff there. Keep that in mind when you're going down to Disney World. So yeah, that's it for the news this week. Let's get right to the reviews. Alright guys, the first thing I want to review this week is the 1959 animated classic, Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty. Now Sleeping Beauty was one of Walt's final movies that he really took invested interest in, because when you consider around that time he had just made Disneyland, and he's kind of focusing his invention and his mind on other things in his life that he wanted to do. Doing animated movies, something that he had perfected a long time ago. He really didn't care too much about the movies anymore. The movies were just there to fund other things that he wanted to do. This one, however, after Cinderella came out and all those other ones, he decided that he was going to finally pull the trigger and make this wonderful movie. Now, the story of Sleeping Beauty, I think everybody knows. Princess Aurora, she is Sleeping Beauty. She gets a spell cast on her by the evil Maleficent, who is pure evil, so that the spell is that on her 16th birthday, she's going to prick her finger on a spindle of a spinning, on the needle of a spinning wheel, and then fall into a deep, dark sleep. Well, she'll die. But one of the three fairies, the three good fairies, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, I believe it was Merryweather, she modified the spell so that Sleeping Beauty will only fall into a dark, deep sleep, and true love's kiss will wake her up. Hence the name Sleeping Beauty. So 16 years pass, and she's hiding in the forest with the with the three fairies. The king and queen say it's okay, you can adopt our daughter for 16 years, and so that she stays safe. Maleficent can't find her. A whole bunch of stuff happens. She meets up with Prince Philip. They sing Once Upon a Dream. Maleficent finds both of them. She enchants Sleeping Beauty or Princess Aurora, and sure enough, she falls asleep. Prince Philip fights Maleficent in a huge battle to the death. Maleficent turns into a giant dragon, and just it's a big, awesome fight scene. And wins, kills Maleficent with a sword throw to the heart. Goes back, kisses Princess Aurora, wakes her up, and then they're to be married in the morning. And everything was good and dandy in the kingdom. While the story is a very classical, princess fairy tale. I guess by nowadays standards, they would have to change that, and well, I'm not going to give any spoilers away from Maleficent, so I'll just move on from there. Yeah, so that's pretty much the story of Sleeping Beauty. That story actually went through many changes, in the production of it. The production of Sleeping Beauty in the Walt Disney Studio started way back in the 1930s. It was one of the ones that was tossed around before they landed on Snow White. Because princess stories and fairy tales are very easy to draw upon, especially when it comes to Disney. Disney can do them very, very well. So when Sleeping Beauty finally came around, Disney said, okay, let's do this. But he wanted to do something different, and he actually hired Even Earl, it's a weird spelling name, Even Earl, to do the artwork. Originally, it was actually Mary Blair, but that didn't work out, and you can actually see Mary Blair's style in Cinderella and a couple and Alice in Wonderland, you know. But for this one, he wanted Even Earl, who kind of has a similar style to Mary Blair, you know, to do the art direction on this, and he pretty much was in control of the 9 Old Men, the animators for Disney. You know, as far as the style of this movie goes, they wanted to make it more Disney-fied, but he wanted to make it, you know, kind of a strict artistic style. That's why this movie, if you look at every single frame of this movie, it's, you know, if you were to take a single frame out of it and look at that frame, that would be almost like a work of art. He drew heavy inspiration from old, you know, medieval tapestries and things like that. So that's why when you look at the backgrounds of Sleeping Beauty, don't look at the characters. You'll actually see the different Gothic, you know, style and different things like that. And that's what really set this movie apart. When this movie came out, actually, it didn't do too well because it was very serious. Disney didn't want as many gags in this movie. He wanted almost kind of a straight story movie. It's only 75 minutes long. There wasn't a whole lot that they could flesh out. They could have if they wanted to, but they chose not to because they just wanted to kind of make this almost a serious story, you know, and they really, you know, actually got that. But the reason why a lot of Disney historians you know, love it so much is because of the art style, is because it is such a straight you know movie. It's very different than the other princess movies that they had made, you know, like Cinderella. You know, there wasn't many undercurrents and like side stories, you know. In Cinderella there was a side story with the mice. In this one there really wasn't a side story. It was pretty much just plot for plot, boom boom. Really not a whole lot of character development aside from Princess Aurora and Maleficent, who are the main good and bad people. All the side characters, you really almost don't care for them because they're not in the movies, you know, for that long. Well, you know, and the three fairies. The three fairies, they're in there. They have their screen time too, but they're, you know, they're all done great. Now the score for this was excellent. This was a lot of the score in this was taken directly from the Sleeping Beauty ballet, written by Tchaikovsky. A lot of, you know, I mean, it was mixed in-house you know, in Disney, and you know, in a way that it fit the movie. But the majority of it is pure Tchaikovsky's ballet. It's almost, you know, plagiarized almost. But Disney loved that ballet and wanted to tailor the story around the music, so he did. The only real pop song in there is Once Upon a Dream. That was written by Sammy Fain, one of the Disney in-house composers, and you know, that became very popular. One of the top songs. He had written actually a bunch of music for this movie, but it wasn't used. They just wanted to go with the Tchaikovsky's ballet, also adding to the legitimacy and the seriousness of this movie. Now this was filmed in Technorama 70mm, which is an extremely wide film frame. That's why when you look at it on a 16:9 TV, there still is the top and bottom lines. But if you were to try to, you know, view it full frame, you would lose the side pieces. And the reason why Disney wanted to do 70mm film, aside from it being, you know, you know, a new thing, you know, a new bit of technology, he wanted more art in there. You could get more, you know, color, more vibrancy, more stuff, you know, in each frame, and that was excellent. You know, I mean, you know, like I mentioned, even Earl's, you know, art in the background is second to none. And if you actually go through and watch the movie again and just look at it purely from an artistic standpoint, I think you'll really appreciate it. There was another technological marvel in this, that all the music was filmed in stereoscopic sound. It was the first film I think Disney had done when it was, or animated film that was done in stereo. They had to travel to Germany to, you know, with a whole orchestra just to do this, but they did it anyway, and you know, it really, you know, turned out very well. Yeah, but like I said, not a whole lot of people dug Sleeping Beauty when it came out. Lately, it's been, you know, it's been pushed again, and a lot of people like it. You know, it wasn't a huge, massive success when it, you know, first came out. It wasn't Frozen famous, you know. It wasn't Beauty and the Beast like. But as the times and the years went on, it is, you know, became you know, very appreciated for its artistic style, and you know, just how different Disney was trying to make it. And you know, this was the last one that Disney really cared about and really tried to do something different with. before he moved on to the Orlando project and all of his other stuff that he wanted to do in his older years. But you know, when he got something in his head that he wanted to do with the whole tapestry thing and try to do something different, he did, and thus we got Sleeping Beauty. Now this is the Platinum Edition DVD. I don't think there is a Blu-ray out yet. I think it's coming out soon. I'm not totally sure. Do not quote me on that. But it's really great. You know, this edition. It's the 50th anniversary, like I said, and you know, there is a good making of. So if you really watch the making of, you'll appreciate more what you know, I'm trying to get through here with this, and they'll show you just how awesome it was. So very, very neat stuff with Sleeping Beauty. So what am I going to give the 1959 Sleeping Beauty? I'm definitely going to give this, I think, 4 out of 5. It's not the most perfect you know, Disney movie ever made. You know, it's not how I would say Beauty and the Beast or even Frozen or anything like that. But it's one of the classics that really needs to be appreciated. I really enjoyed it. I loved seeing the artistic style, the colors, and the vibrancy of it. And you know, I loved the song Once Upon a Dream, and just the whole score of it was great. It was just a really good movie. And I watched this before I went up to watch Maleficent. And when I tell you about Maleficent in a minute, you know, I gained new appreciation for this in relation to that. You know, not that that's a bad movie or anything, but it's cool to see the differences and whatnot. So Walt Disney's 1959 Sleeping Beauty, 4 stars. Awesome stuff. Alright guys, this is something that I think you have been wanting to hear for a minute. I know that on my File91e Facebook page, you know, you guys have, you know, gave me a lot of feedback. I told you guys I was going to see it, and I gave a one-word review. I'm reviewing Maleficent now, by the way, the 2014 Maleficent starring Angelina Jolie, new, you know, Disney's newest live-action film, out in theaters right now in 3D and 2D. Go check it out. But I gave a one-word review of it, and that was, it was unexpected. Now, I think some of you meant, or you know, took it that it was an unexpected bad thing. That's not what I was going for at all. It was just unexpected as to what I saw. I went in thinking it was going to be one thing, got something totally different. I'll try to elaborate without giving any spoilers away. I want you guys to go and see this movie. It is a good movie. I liked it. Don't worry about that, but I'll try to explain to you without giving any spoilers away why it's different. Like I said, this just came out, and it stars Angelina Jolie, Elle Fanning, and Charlton Copley as the main 3, you know, characters in there. There are a bunch of side characters too that we all know and love and remember from the you know, the original Sleeping Beauty. What this story focuses on is Maleficent's early life, how she became Maleficent, the Maleficent that we know, the bad Maleficent, and then where she ends up. Now you might think you know that story already. You know, I watched Sleeping Beauty. I know, you know, she was evil. She has the green face and all that, and she has the raven, and she, you know, she turns into a dragon. Blah 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 blah. I know all of that. You don't know all of that. Do not go into this movie Maleficent expecting anything from this movie. Okay, I watched this movie right before I went over. You know, went up to see Maleficent, so this was fresh in my mind. And when I watched Maleficent, I went, okay, so they did that. Okay, that's different. That's different. That is different. There are certain scenes in this movie Maleficent that you will remember from Sleeping Beauty. The one scene that I think everybody notices because it's been, you know, publicized, so I'm going to mention this, is the curse scene where Maleficent shows up and curses Sleeping Beauty, Aurora. You know, they did that right. There are a couple other scenes that they actually, you know, took from this, and they did it right, and it was really fun to see it, you know, it played so perfectly. You know, that was really cool. But there was a lot of differences in this story versus that. Now, the explanation that they give right at the end is that there are 2 sides to every story, and that every story has multiple ways for it to be told. You know, a story told from one person's point of view might be completely different than a story told from another person's point of view. You know, things might get left out, things might get changed, you know, depending on the point of view. You know, it's like that game you play in school when there's a line of, you know, a whole line of kids. One kid, you know, whispers into, you know, another kid's ear, and then it works its way down, and then right at the end, you know, what that first kid said is completely different than what the last kid said. You know, that sort of thing. So basically, what I'm trying to drill through your head is, do not expect anything from this movie. Go in thinking that you're going to see a completely separate movie. Try to, you know, take this out of it, and I think you'll appreciate Maleficent even more. Now, the acting in this was spectacular, especially by Angelina Jolie. She played the lead, Maleficent, and she looked like Maleficent. She acted like Maleficent, and she even sounded like Maleficent. It was perfect. This was one of the highlights of the movie for me, was watching Angelina Jolie be Maleficent, because she could do Maleficent 15 more times than anything, and I would want to watch it, because she did great. You know, with what she was given, she did a ton, and you know, it was very, very awesome. I would have loved to have seen, you know, her be this Maleficent. You know what I mean? Like, do the exact same stuff that the Maleficent in the original Sleeping Beauty did. There are, you know, throwbacks to that, but this was completely completely different. You know, a whole different take on it, and it was very good. You know, nonetheless, you know, even with all the changes. But she did great, and I just think, you know, it was done perfectly well, and her acting during the, you know, the curse scene was just great. It was so good. Elle Fanning is Aurora, Princess Aurora. She did great. She's the sister of Dakota Fanning, and she's a good little actress in and of herself. She was also in Super 8. That's where I first remember seeing her, and she did a great job there too. So I know her acting chops are good. She played Princess Aurora very well. She in the original movie, Princess Aurora is a very, you know, almost kind of old for her age. You know, she's very, very regal. In this one, she has kind of a whimsical, childlike fantasy, fantasy world sort of thing, and you know, she played a good Sleeping Beauty. She was very, you know, everybody liked her. She was a type of girl that you just wanted to like and wanted to root for. So that worked out well. And then the main, I guess you could say, villain of the movie, which is kind of a takeaway, is Sharlto Copley, who is King Stefan, who in the original is a good guy. You know, it's like, oh my God, there's kind of roles are flipped, but that's kind of what you want in a movie that focuses as the villain being the hero rather than the villain being the villain. You know that sort of thing. The roles were reversed, which is kind of what you wanted. You wanted sympathy, sympathy for Maleficent. It's just kind of how the movie was going. And he was also he was in District 9 and Elysium. He was also in the A-Team. So he was a good he did a good job. He actually, of all the actors there, he was kind of the weakest. I loved him in a bunch of other movies, but for whatever reason in this one, I wasn't fully on with it. Like, I didn't quite buy him. I guess it was just what he was given. The writing wasn't exactly that good. The writing in this movie wasn't the best, I guess you could say. It was very, not wordy, but like, it was like bad Shakespeare. They were just trying to, like, it's like, oh, let's be whimsical, but it was very corny that way. Like, you really didn't need to say, some of the stuff that they said, and it just seemed to me like the writing was a little bit corny. The actors did a great job with what they were given, but they were given stuff that I don't think was the best it could have been. But that's just my complaint. You might have taken that a whole completely different way, but that was just that's just for me. As far as directing goes, it was great. It was put together very well. The guy that directed it, I think, also was the art director for Oz and all that stuff, and it looked very Ozzy. I felt a lot. I recently watched Oz the Great and Powerful again, and I watched this, and it was a lot of parallels, just to kind of how it went and how it looked. I got a lot of that same feeling. Especially with the CG characters and the CG world. There is a CG world in there. The CG characters looked okay. Some people didn't like it. I didn't think it was good or bad. I just was indifferent to it. The background looked great. It just looked nice. overall, it was a great movie. So the directing did a good job in pulling all that stuff together to make it one cohesive movie. And overall, it was a good movie, very exciting. Although albeit different from anything that I was expecting, like I said. But as a standalone movie, it was great, and I really enjoyed it. The score, well, for me, that was the best part of the movie. They did a great job with it. I really enjoyed it, and the fact that they had Lana Del Rey at the end singing Once Upon a Dream, it sounded like Angelina Jolie singing it, which is kind of funny. Everybody in the audience was thinking that Angelina Jolie was singing that at the end of the movie, and I was like, no, that's Lana Del Rey. And they were like, who's Lana Del Rey? And I realized I was surrounded by a bunch of old people. So, who knew? But like I said, this is very different than the original. I consider this being in an alternate universe. In an alternate universe, this is the stuff that would happen in Sleeping Beauty, whereas in this universe, this stuff happened in Sleeping Beauty. So before I give a rating, I just want to say again, don't go into this movie expecting what you might think it is. I thought it was going to be just basically the exact same story from this one, just told through Maleficent's eyes. But I didn't get that. I did not get that, and I was kind of stunned almost at the end, like, oh my God, I can't believe they did this stuff. They went a whole completely different route, and I just was kind of enthralled with it all. I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing now? Holy moly, I was not ready for this at all. So that sort of thing. So I highly recommend you do go see it, so that you can make up your own opinion. And maybe we can get a discussion going on my File91e Facebook page as to what it is. I've heard some people say they loved it. I've heard some people say they didn't like it at all. So I'm usually a guy that's in the middle, and that's kind of where I am right now. So what am I going to give Maleficent? I've been literally thinking about this for 2 days. After thinking about it, I'm giving it 4 stars. I was going to give it a 3 because it was a 3.5. But after thinking about it more and appreciating it more and talking to my grandmother who was sitting right there and why she liked it, she really loved it. Like, this was she doesn't like movies. She usually doesn't even remember movies, but she loved this movie. And she loved the fact that it was different, that it wasn't the same rehash of the old stuff. Because we've already seen the old stuff. We already know what happens with the old stuff, and the fact that they went and changed some things and made it a little bit more dramatic. And once you see the movie, you'll understand more of what I'm saying. But once she saw that, she really appreciated it more, and she loved it. She thought it just looked great, and she said she'd give it 5 out of 5 because it was a movie that couldn't have been any better than what it was. And I was like, okay, that's great. And so talking about it, I got to understand it more and appreciate it more. So yes, I highly recommend, I highly recommend you guys go see this movie. Go check it out. It's in theaters now, in 3D and 2D. I saw it in 2D. Again, 3D for me doesn't do anything. There's no difference for me. And, I'm not going to judge something based on the 3D-ness of it. Soarin' would still be a 5-star attraction to me, whether it be 3D or 2D. I don't care. That's just kind of my opinion on it. So go see Maleficent. It's great. It's out in theaters right now, and I would love to hear you guys' opinion on it. If you have any opinions on it, either post them here or in my File91e Facebook page. I'm gonna respond quicker and more on my File91e Facebook page than I will on here, just because YouTube's comment system is very, very, very flaky. So if you haven't, like my File91e Facebook page, there's a link in the description box. So Maleficent, out right now, 4 stars. Check it out. Well, I hope that wasn't too long for you guys. I just wanted to give some good some information on Sleeping Beauty and Maleficent. Go check out Maleficent. It's out in theaters right now. Very, very, very good movie. So yeah, if anybody from Disney is watching, please don't sue me. I just want people to go to Disney World and check out the movies that you put out right now. I mean, Maleficent's out, and and she's walking around in Disney World right now, along with Princess Aurora and Sleeping Beauty. It's just very cool what you do. And if you are going down to Disney World, be sure to go to allers.net, touringplans.com, wdwmagic.com for our latest and greatest Disney news. WaltDisneyWorld.com is good too, and Passporter.com is good as well. So yeah, remember, I will not be doing a show next week. It's my birthday weekend, so happy birthday to me. I'm turning 28 years old. Hopefully. I'm still 27 now. Hopefully I make it to 28, which will be literally in 1 week, on next Sunday. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a June Jams or a July Jams month, where I review music and stuff. Who knows? Well, who knows what we're going to do. I'll figure it out in a week's time, 2 weeks time, and whatever whatever I come up with, you'll see. So I'll see you guys next time for another Disney news and reviews. Bye, guys. Oh, real quick, where in the world am I?